So let's continue developing this project. You can see that there is a file that we haven't opened, is this CocktailDB. So this is going to be the file that contains all the methods to add or remove elements from the local storage. So we're going to create this class. We're going to call this class, and then we're going to add CocktailDB. So this is going to be the name of the class. So we're going to instantiate this into the app.js. Right here I'm going to add a comma, and we're going to call this one CocktailDB equals to new CocktailDB. So this is going to be everything that is related to the local storage. So let's continue working. We're going to open the CocktailDB again, and we're going to create some methods that we need in order to work with the local storage. If you remember, we added, for example, a method called getFromDB. We're going to add getFromDB, and this is going to check for the elements that exist on local storage. So we're going to create a new variable. It's going to be let drinks, and it doesn't have any values. Then we're going to check from storage, check from local storage, and we're going to have the following: if local storage dot get item, and we haven't created this yet, but it's going to be called drinks, is equals to null, doesn't exist at this moment. Well, drinks is going to be an empty array. In the other hand, if you have something there, drinks is going to be equals to json.parse, and inside we're going to add local storage dot get item, and it's going to be drinks, and this is going to return the drinks, which is going to be an array. It can be empty or it can have something, and that's why we're using this function. So we're going to create a new method. We're going to create another one. We're going to save the recipes into local storage. This one is going to return recipes from storage. So we're going to have this one called, for example, save into database, and this is going to take a drink object. We haven't passed this from the app.js, but we are going to do this in this video. So it's going to be cons, it's going to be drinks, it's going to be this get from database. So basically this save into DB is going to check for all the items that we already have in the storage. If we have something, it's going to be an array with something. In the case that this is empty, it's going to be an empty array, but always is going to be an array. So we're going to use drinks plural that push, and we're going to add the current drink. And finally, we're going to add the new array into the local storage. So we're going to add local storage dot set item, and we're going to use drinks, and we're going to use json dot stringify. Remember, if you have an array and you want to convert this into a string, you have to use json dot stringify, and then we're going to pass the array that is called drinks. So this is going to save into storage, and is going to get from storage. So we need to open the app.js, and when you click in one of these, I'm going to open this and I'm going to make a search. When you click in one of these, the idea is that we extract, for example, the name and also the ID and the image. So we're going to start working with that part. Right here, I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and right here is where we are going to add this code. I'm going to add some space, and I'm going to add a comment, get info, and we're going to console log e.target. So let's save this, and let's make a search. For example, I'm going to search for Margarita. We haven't searched for any of these, and click here on the plus sign. You can see that this is going to return the button. So we can use some traversing in order to access to the parent element. But let me show you something. If I inspect here, we are here on the button, so we need to traverse into the parent. So we're going to use e.target.parent element like this. So save this again. We're going to make another search. Console, click here. You can see this is going to have the card. So from here we can retrieve the ID, because the ID is on the bottom. We can retrieve the name, click here on the card body and you can see we have the name. And we can also get the image. So the image is going to be this one. So we can select everything from here. So we're gonna remove this, remove everything. And we're gonna add const card body is going to be equals to e.target parent element, like this. And then we're gonna create a new object. This is going to be an object literal, so we're gonna add const drink info. And this is going to be equals to an object. So we're gonna add EID. And if you remember, in order to access this data ID, we're gonna use data set. So we're gonna use ID and we're gonna use event.target.dataset and .id. Then we're gonna access the name. We're gonna use card body, which is the parent. This will refers to the parent. And we're gonna use query selector. And we're gonna select the card title. This is going to be the current card title. And we need to extract the text, so it's going to be text content. We add another comma, we're gonna add the last one. This is going to be an image. And the image is going to be card body. Query selector again. And we're gonna use the class core img top. This is the class that we need. And we're gonna add the source. So we can pass this into the console log and just to see that everything is working. And we're gonna make a search for vodka. So click here on the plus sign and you can see we have the ID, we have the image, and we have the name. Click here and you can see we have a different ID, a different image, and a different name. So we're gonna open the code again. I'm gonna comment this line. And right here I'm gonna add into the storage. And it's going to be cocktail DB, this one, cocktail DB, the name has to match with this one. So cocktail DB, and we're gonna add a dot. And if you remember, the method in the cocktail DB is this one, save into DB, and this takes an object. So save into DB, and we're gonna pass the drink info. So save this. Let's open the project again. Let's make a search for tequila in this case. And hopefully you are not drinking a lot of these drinks while we are developing this. So we're gonna click here. This is going to save this into the storage. I'm gonna move this to the bottom and we're gonna click here on application. And we're gonna expand the local storage. So now you can see we have the drinks right here. And we can add another one. And this is going to add a second item. You can see that if we expand this, you can see we have the ID, the image, and also the name. If you click here on the second one, we have the ID, the image, and also the name. So now we're saving this into the local storage. The idea is if you click here, this is going to remove from storage. But we haven't worked in that part yet. Next, we're going to open the My Favorites. And the idea is that it displays the favorites right here. So we're going to see how we can do that in the next video.